My name is Randy Line, and I'll be discussing the next part of the project, which first will be the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation for a single tone. Here's our code. We have the tone frequency at 1000 hertz and the carrier frequency at 1 megahertz. I'll run the code, and here's our result. One moment. And it's kind of difficult to see because we're plotting over a large spectrum, so I'll try to zoom in a little bit. But what we have here is we have a DC component at 0 hertz, and then we have at plus and minus 1 kilohertz we have our message components. Here, I think this may be the best that we are going to be able to get. Maybe I can get one more. It's a little bit slow. Well, as that loads, here we are. So negative 1 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz, then here's the AM modulation component. Here's our carrier frequency at 1 megahertz, negative 1 megahertz and 1 megahertz. And then here's our double sideband signal, which again it's hard to see, but it's the message signal centered at the negative 1 megahertz and also 1 megahertz. And next will be the single sideband modulation. Here's the function here. We're using the same tone frequency, same carrier frequency, and we'll be using the Hilbert function to implement the single sideband. So I'll run it, and here comes our results in one moment. So again, here's this is the same message as the previous case. I'll try to zoom in. But for a single sideband, this is what we're more looking into. So here's the lower sideband for the single sideband modulation. And then here's the upper sideband. Shortly. Okay, so we can see that this is centered at 1 megahertz, and I can try to zoom in again to get a closer picture that this is the lower sideband that is 1 kilohertz lower than, here we are. So you can see it's 999, which is 1 kilohertz less than the 1 megahertz. And then the same case for the upper sideband. This is 1 kilohertz greater than the 1 megahertz carrier frequency. And this concludes task 2, and we'll move on next to the demodulation for double sideband and single sideband.